Good.
Hi, I'm John Michaels with Hives and More, and today I'd like to talk to you a little bit about top bar hiving. Top bar hiving is not very common because a lot of people don't know about it and they think it's difficult to do, but in reality, for a backyard beekeeper, it is probably far easier to do than a standard Langstroth hive or the box type that you're used to seeing. Top bar hive requires no effort in lifting boxes. There's no storing of boxes. Everything is related to these frames, and there's 28 top bars that go across the top of the top bar hive, and you have a follower board, and we have actually a feeder built into the follower board on our hives. Now when you look at hives on the internet, whether it's ours or anybody else's, there's some features you need to look at. We've designed ours after Wyatt Magnum. He's a professor at a university, and he's studied top bar hives for over 40 years. So we got together with Wyatt and got permission to copy his hive and his design. One of the features of his is these holes in the front. A lot of them you'll just see a landing board with a slot in it like a regular hive, and no holes up here. These holes actually discourage the bees from building in the first few frames, and the reason for that is when you come in to inspect your hive, it's nice to be able to take out the first few frames so that you can inspect the comb before you attempt to move it, because it may be attached to the side of the hive or not. So from that standpoint, that's real easy. This is a no-brainer. We just copied his idea. We have a landing board here, 3 holes in the bottom, 3 holes in the top. We also have a screen built into ours, and I'll show you that on this one here. We've got a full screen for ventilation, and in the wintertime, you can slide a piece of insulation board into the track here, and that'll seal it up for the winter. And then we also have a mite checking board that slides in and out. You'll see here we also have a viewing glass. This is an option on our hives. Now the other feature is these bars are 19 inches wide, and the reason for that is these can go in and out of the Langstroth hives. If you need to start a nook or need to put these somewhere temporarily, they'll go into the Langstroth without a problem. The other feature is that you'll see a lot of guys have a top bar, which we used to have, that is shaped on a triangle with a little ridge down the center. And the idea behind that is that you coat that with wax, and the bees are supposed to follow that straight line. But what Wyatt found over the years is that if he puts a starter strip in here, now he uses wax, this happens to be plastic with wax coating on it, that they tend to build on both sides of this and build a standard comb straight up and down. This is important if you're going to be having multiple hives, so you can take one frame from this hive and put it into another hive if you need to. Now I've been top bar hiving just for this first year, and I found out that that's not always true. It's a nice rule of thumb, but a lot of times they will go ahead and cross the combs together, and that could be just spacing that we have a little bit wrong from nature, but for the most part we found the top bar hives to be very, very easy to handle. Now when a top bar hive is functional, the colony is sitting about here, about 6 or 8 inches back from the front door, if you will, and this would be the brood chamber, equivalent to the brood chamber in a Langstroth hive. So the queen lays all her eggs in the comb that's in here, and then as they move back, she knows that she doesn't want to go all the way back because these are honeycombs back here. So when you start a hive, you start with a follower board, and you may start with only this many boards to keep the area small and defendable from other insects and bugs and things like that. As your hive grows, you will add these to it, and the further back you get, the more these will become just pure honeycomb, and these are what you can take from the hive every year. And generally you can do it about twice a year. Excuse me. they'll just continue to build. Now let me grab our top and I'll show you that. By the way, our hives are all cypress, which is a natural bug and rot resistant lumber grown in Florida and Georgia and the southeast. It's all milled for us, and we build the hives by hand. These are all box jointed, which you probably won't see on many hives other than a commercial hive. This allows us to assemble it and staple it from both sides. When the hive comes to you, it's all sanded, nice, ready for finish. You can leave it natural, or these have been coated with linseed oil. Our top is easily removable by holding the handle, and it's just a nice fancy top. Now you could go with a piece of metal on top of this. You could go with a piece of plywood. Makes no difference as long as you have a top over the bars. So again, we like things a little bit nicer. Our hives have a little bit more character. The lid is easily slid off the back, so you can work on the hive and access it. And the other feature I want to talk to you about is our stingless rear feeder. At certain times of the year, and when you start a hive, you have to feed the bees a mixture of sugar water, either 50-50 or 2/3, 1/3. And normally you would slide the lid back, take your jar out of here, and put another one on. The problem is that this hole is open, and you have to suit up to do it generally. At least most home hobbyists will. Commercial guys won't. But we've inserted a screen in here that it is just the right level so that the bee's tongue can get up through the screen and into the feeder jar and feed. But when you take the jar off, they can't come out and sting you. So you just take it out, put another one on, close up the hive, and you're done. As the hive grows and fills out the entire hive, this feeder box would be removed with these two screws, and it would be attached to the back of the hive, similar to this, like that, and then the bees would come through from the inside and feed off the back, and then you would just be feeding on the outside of the hive. So once again, our hives are all made in America, U.S. lumber, U.S. workers. We're proud of that. We do a great job. Our hives are 36 inches long, top bar is 19 inches wide, and they come either with the legs attached, they're unattached for shipping, but they do come fully assembled, or you can buy a hive mount and mount them on these hives just like this. Once you get into top bar hiving, I think you'll really like it. It's simple. You don't really have to prep for the winter. You just keep the bees in the box. You don't have to take anything off. You don't have to store anything. It's just a real easy way for a home hobbyist to get into top bar hiving. In a little bit, in our next video, we will show you how to introduce bees to this hive, and hopefully it'll be a successful joining of the, the box and the bees, and we'll have good success with this one this year. That's it for today.